So have you always tried to figure out how to get rid of the green and magenta inside of your Seestar images and make them look a little something more like this, where you've got dust and the color pops and everything else? Well, I'm Chad. This is the Easy Astro Images channel, and I am going to show you how to do this playing with some photons today. SETI Astro Suite Pro. Super easy. If you're interested in how to do this in PixInsight, let me know. Maybe we can do a video on it, but a couple of the tools are available in PixInsight that we will be using here in SETI. Now, what I've done to this image is, this is STARFRONT data, and you can see that the S50 Pro still struggles even under border one skies. So if you're shooting from your home, you have light pollution, you're probably going to have a lot more of this as well. You're just not going to end up being able to resolve as much dust in the end. Now, the S30 Pro, it doesn't suffer really from this using a newer 585 sensor. There's still a little bit of color casting in there, but it's way easier to deal with. And most of the time doing color calibration, that handles everything. So what we've done to this image here and our image of the iris is we have just ran through and we pulled the stars. We've done an automatic background extraction. We have done the color calibration using Frank's awesome tools that are built into here. We've obviously rotated, cropped, and we've done all of our stacking inside of SETI Astro Suite Pro because it is definitely the best stacker to use right now. It will leverage every bit of GPU and CPU power that you have. So all that money that you've spent on your PC, gaming PC, whatever, you can finally use. So we are right here before the stretch. And of course, we are going to be using the statistical stretch because that's what we do. They just enabled a live auto fresh preview built into here as well. It's running a little bit slow, and I think they're working on it in the background. So not super concerned about that right now. So I think this looks good for just a basic stretch. We'll just do a 0.15. That's another thing is you don't really want to overstretch your data at the beginning because we need to really use masking and stuff to fix this and pull everything out. So let's go ahead and apply that stretch here to the image. And at this point, probably what I would do is just a very light pass of whatever kind of noise program you want to use. I'm going to be using Noise Exterminator. I've got a preset for 50% set up, and I'm just going to drag and drop that. And that's just going to help us refine the mask a little bit easier. We really don't want to go full ham with any of that stuff yet because we will wait until the end. If your image has a lower noise, probably go ahead and skip that step and wait till later. It's always best to try to throw that in at the end. So what we're going to be using is we are going to be using SCC, Selective Color Correction. And there's a couple different ways to get to it. You can go up here, I believe, to Functions, or Tools, Selective Color Correction under Tools. I've got an icon saved for it here. And you pull it up, and this is what it looks like. Now, at first, it's going to seem very daunting and very overwhelming, but don't worry about it. First thing I want you to do is click on Show Mask Overlay, and it's going to always default to red. There's a few steps that you need to do here. You always got to remember that when you make a change, you're going to want to hit apply, and then it's going to always re-default to red as well. Now you can export your masks from here. You can do all kinds of great stuff. I like to just kind of like zoom in the whole image to start my mask. Let's go ahead and let's work on the green first. Now you can see that it's pulling in a little bit of green, but not a lot. There's a lot more green in this image than these red dots are showing us. So the first thing is go to your minimum chrominance here, and this is going to vary by camera. If you see, if we go to an 01, it's just pulling in way too much. So if we go to like an 02, that looks pretty good right there. And then what we're going to want to do is go to edge blur, and maybe you can do like a 7 or a 10. And then you can just kind of zoom in here, look at your mask, see if you're happy with that. You can turn the overlay on and off, and that is going to target literally all the green that's in our image. If you don't want it to hit it so hard, you can just keep raising this to like an 03. And, you know, maybe that would be better. We can do that. And you can also change the intensity of the mask as well. Now, the important thing to remember is the mask is the area that we are affecting, not protecting. So if you want to do the opposite, of course, you can invert the mask, but that's not what we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off. And if we look at the color wheel here, the opposite of green is magenta. So what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of magenta in here. Now the sliders are super touchy. So, you know, just a little bit of a bump is, you know, sometimes all you need. So what I like to do is kind of go up to just where I start to see the magenta showing up in the image, and then start backing it back down. And, you know, I'll usually settle somewhere halfway. So if I see a strong magenta coming in at about 15, then I'll back that down to about a 7 or an 8. And then I'm just going to simply hit apply. And you're going to see that, again, it defaulted back to red. So if I click on show mask overlay, now it's just going to show all of our red stuff. So now what we want to do is we want to go after the magenta. So we will click magenta. And again, we're going to go down here to minimum chrominance. We can try 02. And then we can blur that out to about a 7 or an 8. That looks good right there. And if we zoom in again, we can overlay the mask and we can see that it's locking on to kind of the magenta that is in our brown and everything else. And if we look at the color wheel, the opposite of magenta is green. So we're going to want to go up on our green channel here. And you should start to see that dust start to turn green. We saw it have that nice brown color that we want at about a 5 or a 6, maybe even a 4. I think we're going to go with 4 on this one. Yeah, see, look how good that looks. And we are going to apply that. And we are good. We have now corrected our color, and it has been pushed over to our document, and we can close that out. So that there, super easy. The next thing that I like to do is just run a quick round of 0 polynomial, try saying that 50 times, subtract, and I'm just going to hit apply. And what this is going to do is it's just going to get rid of the cast. So you can see we had like an overall blue cast to the image, and it just basically fixed everything and equaled that all out. Now, bonus, we're going to bring out the dust. So we totally fixed our colors, but now let's fix the dust. We're going to go into the luminance version of this, okay? So not only do we have a color version, but we've got a luminance version. So first thing to do, show the mask. We obviously don't want all of that. Let's edge blur this up to about 7. And then what we're going to start doing is we're just going to start refining this mask a little bit. And basically, we are just going to be highlighting the darkest areas of the image. So right when it disappears, you just want to barely disappears. You just want to go up just one more. We'll hide the mask. I'm going to scroll down here, and all I'm going to do is just start turning down the lights on this. And here comes our dust. And this is up to you how far you want to take it. Do you want super dark space black? Do you want like a little bit of light? Kind of up to you. I'm going to leave like a little bit of light left in there as well. So we turned on the lights, we brought back all of our dust, and we are golden. So don't forget to hit apply. And now what we can do is if we want to actually work on the dust itself, we can take that same mask. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's invert it. And now we're going to just be able to manipulate the color on everything. So we can turn the overlay off, and we can go back down here, and we can actually just increase the chroma a little bit and see what that does for us. And we can see that is just turning and adding color depth into everything in the image except for that dark background. You know, we can go all the way, and it's a nice touch. It's not super strong and it's not super aggressive. I really like the way that that works. So we'll go ahead and apply that to our base image. And now M20 is pretty much done. It's up to you what you want to do from here. So we could hit this baby with some more noise exterminator and clean up the noise on it a little bit. And then I like to run parallax after this at a really low amount. If you don't have parallax, I'll show you a couple other tools that you can use. I know all these tools are getting expensive. You can see though just what a good job just one click does with parallax. If you don't have parallax, what you can do is you can use this wave scale HDR. That always works really good for kind of your finer areas. So you can see that we can bring in a little bit of detail there into the middle. We can apply that, close that tool. You can go into texture and clarity. You can raise the clarity amount a little bit on that if you want to, and we can apply that, and that's going to add some clarity and just kind of sharpen everything else up a little bit. You can also use his contrast enhancement equalization tool. So that might be a little too strong right there, but Clay does a super job as far as bringing out all these details and stuff for us. You can play around with how strong you want it to be, how light you want it to be. So lots of different ways to do things. So that is M20 right there. Of course, we could throw back the stars and all that kind of stuff. So we'll give you one more example with the iris. This iris has like 12 hours of data on it. I think M20 had about 5. So we can see just how much cleaner the image actually looks here. So we'll go ahead and do our statistical stretch again. We'll just go ahead and leave it there. That looks good to me. And then we will do our 50% of noise exterminator. And then we got that done. We will open up the selective color correction. And let's go ahead and change that to a green mask. Want to click on show the overlay, give ourselves about 7 on there, and minimum chroma about an 02. Looks good. Not a whole lot of green that is in there, which is a good thing. And then we're just going to go to magenta, and we're going to just turn magenta up just a touch, because we don't want to go full ham like that this time, because there's not a whole lot in there. So again, I usually find like with my Seestar around 7 or 8 does a pretty good job. Click apply. Let's go to the green mask again, and notice that like we have all of this stuff here and we're not touching any of it, which is awesome. But this is also the tool you can do to go back in and refine your other colors as well. So let's go ahead and show this mask again on magenta. And there's going to be a lot of magenta on here because we can just see it. So we'll blur that out to a 7, and we'll go ahead and click on overlay. And we already know that we're probably going to need a 0.07, and that should give us what we need. Ooh, that is a little too green. So 0.0, let's go half that, 3. Yep, that looks perfect. So let's apply that to our document. We will close that. Come back in with the background neutralization. Again, a polynomial degree of 0. Subtract, apply that. That's going to get rid of our cast. And then what we can do is go back into SLC again, which is the luminance correction, and click on mask overlay, turn that sucker all the way down, and just bring it right back up to about right there. Looks good to me. And let's blur that out to about a 7. And then we can turn that off so we can see what we're doing. And let's just go ahead and turn down the lights. And now we have revealed all of that beautiful dust. Again, love it. Apply it. Show the mask again. We can invert the mask again. Turn it off. Go back down. We can add some saturation this way. It's got a couple different modes here. So now we're just adding the saturation directly back in instead of the chroma. I mean, heck, you can do both. You can apply that. You can go back in. You can add in the chroma. Going to save the mask again. Turn that down a little bit. Kind of getting a little messed up in the corners. Apply. Close that out. We can hit that with the full strength of the noise exterminator now. The roofs are open in our STARFRONT, which is awesome. And then we can hit this baby with a quick little parallax. And, you know, there you go. And I always like to compare my images to people online. So this is like a Seestar S50 version of the iris, you know, something for you to shoot for on ASTROBIN. Here is an M20. A little bit more color in there, a little less of the brown, but again, we can always go back into selective color, and if you don't like the brown type of stuff, you can go ahead and select that and make it more of an orange. We can see we've got some orange showing up down here as well. Iris, of course, you can go in, start adding in some yellow and a little bit of red into this dust to bring out that brown and all that kind of stuff. So that's it, guys. It's that easy. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Memberships and buy me a coffee is always appreciated, but not required. We will talk to you guys later.